A new era at Wake Forest football begins. I'm Jeff Fischel with the new head coach of the Demon Deacons, Dave Clawson. Dave, talk about the impact you've tried to have already between spring football and the summer to make a new era begin for Wake Forest.
Well, the big thing is we've got our players here all summer. And I just hope the conditioning level, the strength levels, I think all those things are going to be improved. And we'll have a much better idea what our guys can actually do on the football field just as we get them in stronger and in better shape.
I was going to say, you're learning who all of these players are, and now as you head into August, what's your take on what you think you have already?
I think we got a pretty good secondary. I think we got two really good corners. I like our two safeties, and those are all returning guys. Defensively up front, it'll be a work in progress. There'll be a lot of new starters up there, and I think we've got players that just need to elevate their game. Offensively, really we have a lot more question marks than answers. That we really, the skilled positions are very fluid for us, and right. I just hope that from competition that some guys really raise their game, and we end up with some guys that can be go-to people for us.
How has it been for you as you settled in Winston-Salem, saying, here's where the program is? How long has it taken you to get a sense of what you were working with, and what perhaps the long-term goal is, what kind of time frame we're talking about to get it where you want it to be?
Well, I don't think you can ever put an artificial time frame on it. You want to win as many games as you can, as quick as you can. How realistic is that? I don't know. We'll find a lot more, in the next 2 months here. That camp is critical for us because as a new staff and young players, we only have 10 returning starters. We have such a steep learning curve still going on in our program, and then we start out with 4 non-conference games, and we'll have a good idea where we stand, and hopefully we can get some kinks worked out before we get into conference play.
I was going to say, with those non-conference games, is it a chance to perhaps experiment a little more, see what you have, try perhaps a quarterback gives you 4 weeks to say, you know what, we're going to get not only one body in there, but a couple bodies in there, and see who really is the guy.
Well, you want to win those games too, though.
Right.
So you really hope that by that point, you're not juggling quarterbacks or juggling skilled people, but I think a lot of it is figuring out what do we do well? What is our identity on offense? What is our identity on defense? When you've been around a program for 3 or 4 years, you maybe have a better idea what you have going into it. And I think for us now that we're still trying to learn, okay, what is our offensive identity? What is our defensive identity? And by the time you get an ACC play, you better have that settled.
Certainly. I brought up quarterback position, Tyler Cameron, Kevin Sousa. Is this what you're really focusing in, and how do you see them differentiating themselves at the quarterback position?
Well, really, neither took control of the job in the spring, and they're both competing for it. And we've got 2 freshmen we recruited that we promised those guys that the competition would be early. So right now it's a 4-headed race. And
when do you feel like, is there a date where you say we really need to have a guy figured out by some point in August?
Yeah, you'd hope the drop-dead date would be a week before the first game, but you're not in a hurry to make a bad decision. And I've made the mistake before of creating these artificial timings, and ultimately they're going to decide who the starting quarterback is by how they play.
All right, Dave Clawson, head coach at Wake Forest. Thanks for joining us on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.